Hello, I'm Rylan Spatonik, and this is my 2023 NFL prediction of the playoffs. So, there are already 10 teams in the playoffs at this moment. And for the AFC, there is still 3 spots available. Now, 4 have already been taken up by my Ravens, the Dolphins, and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Browns. Now, in the NFC, the 49ers are in the playoffs. They clinched. They have the 1 seed. Same, the Cowboys are in the playoffs. The Lions are in the playoffs. So are the Eagles and the Rams in the playoffs. I would not want to play the Rams. They are red hot right now. But you could say the exact opposite for the Eagles. They were red hot during the season all the way up to around week 14, 15, and then they just kind of I don't know what happened. The fire just stopped burning, and they just lost to the Arizona Cardinals, who have 3 wins or 4 wins. I mean, that's not good. Now, granted, the Arizona Cardinals did beat the Cowboys, but I still believe that the Eagles will make a playoff run, but I don't think they'll make the Super Bowl. Another interesting team in this playoff picture are the Detroit Lions. You know, they're a very fun team to watch, but I think they do shoot themselves in the foot too many times for me to really consider them a Super Bowl threat. Now, let's look at teams in the hunt. The Jacksonville Jaguars do not deserve to be in the playoffs. They've dropped so many games. Now, granted, they are playing the Tennessee Titans, who aren't playing for anything. But I would love the Titans to spoil the Jags' hopes of going to the playoffs. So I believe the Jags will miss the playoffs, but it probably will happen. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a very mid team, but their division is so bad. I believe that their win, they're against the Carolina Panthers, who didn't score a single point last week. So I think the Bucs are going to win. Now, even though those teams are pretty good, there's a real team that should be in the playoffs, but it's played pretty poorly in the beginning and the middle of the year, but has really stepped it up when it matters. The Buffalo Bills are now 10-6. In 1 game away from making the playoffs, but also 1 game away from getting eliminated from playoff picture. Now, they've had a very tough schedule, and they've beaten every team up until that point. Their last opponent is the Miami Dolphins. They're limping their way into the playoffs right now. The Bills are coming into Miami, and I think it's going to be a great game. I think it could be a shootout, and I don't really know. I think the Bills will win, but the Dolphins are very injured, and I'm not sure. But I think the Bills will win. Anyways, moving on to the Colts. They're in the same picture as the Jags. I don't believe that I don't think the Colts are going to win. I don't really like the Colts that much. They don't really have an impressive roster. Their quarterback's not that good. They're a fun story. They're playing the Houston Texans, which I believe should make the playoffs. I really like the Texans. They're fun, they're scrappy, and they get down and dirty, and they fight players. Now, granted, they lost a bunch of key players like C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and so on. But they're coming back. You know, hopefully they beat the Colts and find their way into the playoffs. I believe that they're going to be very entertaining. I don't think they're going to make it past maybe like the divisional round, but I still want to see C.J. Stroud in the playoffs. Now, with the last true team in the hunt, or the Green Bay Packers, same thing as the Texans. They're young, very young team. They're feisty, you know. They're beating good teams, but also losing the bad teams. Jordan Love is really turning into his own, and maybe the third quarterback in that huge quarterback regime, you know, with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. We'll have to see. They play the Chicago Bears, which have been playing very well, but they are eliminated because they lost too many games, and they only really beat bad teams because they're bad. So, yeah, next episode I will say, after next week, I will disclose who I will be picking in the playoff pictures and who's going to win, and I may or may not hint at a Super Bowl winner. I'm Rylan Spatolnik, and this is the NFL preview of the playoffs.